Welcome to episode 1 of playing my viewers and analyzing the games. Today I'm going to go through the first two games I played and the results of them. So this is the first one. I played against someone called Demigod Jesus, and their rating I've looked through. They rated 280 Blitz, 280 Rapid, and yeah, in this game they rated 400 in 3D chess. So yeah. So let's actually review this. You can see, very accurate game. The game started with e4. I played e5. They played knight f3. And I played knight f6, inviting a Stafford Gambit. That's what I'm going to play. Point is, if they take, then I'll go here. They take, I take, and we're in a Stafford Gambit. Although my opponent didn't want it, they instead played bishop c4, which does kinda blunder a pawn, but not really. So I just went with a passive approach, knight c6, just developing the knight, protecting the pawn. They went d3, protecting this pawn of course, and now I went h6, preventing the pin of this bishop, because that can be pretty annoying sometimes. They castled, and I went bishop c5. Logical, classical Italian game so far. Yeah, bishop e3, offering the trade. I could either take, but I decided to drop back instead, because I wanted to play a more passive approach, I guess. They went c6, probably preparing d4, and I just castled. They went d4, which is an inaccuracy. I took, they took, and here I was actually supposed to take this, but I played d5 instead. The reason I didn't take this pawn was because I was kind of scared of this happening. And yeah, apparently here the best move according to the computer is to take the bishop. Once I take back, I go here. Although I thought this position looks pretty nasty, even though I'm up a pawn. They have a lot of space going on, and my pieces are kind of misplaced, and I'm not developed. So instead I went d5. They took, I took, they took, I took, and they developed their knight. So this is pretty much completely draw's position so far. I went king h5, pinning the knights to the queen, but not really. So they could just move the knight, even though this is an inaccuracy. It's a decent move. I took the queen, they took back, and now I went bishop f5. I could have taken the knight, which in hindsight actually is pretty good when I looked at it, although in the moment I thought that this pawn was kind of their weakness because it's isolated, not protected by any pawns. So I was kind of relying on the fact that this pawn is a weakness, but I didn't realize that I could just take the knight, and once they take back I could take their bishop, and then they have these very bad double stacked pawns, and I'm actually slightly better. But instead I just developed the bishop, because I thought if they took my pawn, then yes, my pawns get doubled, but I didn't see a clear way for them to attack the pawns and get them. So well, that's exactly what happened. We traded, and they went d5, which is a good move, getting rid of this weakness. I took, they took, and now I went bishop back to e6. They took this, and I took with the c pawn, because if I took with this, that would lose this, but I could of course just take this. But I didn't quite like this position as much for me. It was kind of like very drawish. Yeah. So I took with this. They went there with the check. I just moved the king. And so far, my opponent is playing very well for their rating. I mean, they rated, what's the 400, 200? I don't know if this is their only account, but they're playing very well nonetheless. Like, we're in a draw here. If they play correctly, they're going to draw. They play a4, which is a decent move, not the best move. And I went rook fd8, wanted to trade the rooks and get the open file. My opponent took, which isn't the best move, because now I have this open file. And unless they play very accurately, I'm going to dominate in the endgame here. So you have to be pretty careful. They went h3, which isn't the best move, because I can now get the rook to this rank. And now I have some serious pressure, and as you can see on the evaluation, I've taken advantage here. They went knight c6, counter-attacking my pawn, so if I take their pawn, they will take my pawn, which is a pretty good move, the best one actually according to the computer. So I here went a5, protecting this pawn, and now they played knight e5, which is a big mistake, because essentially it just loses this pawn, which I gladly took. And now I am actually winning. And now they played knight d3, which is yet another mistake. So my opponent played very well, but now they're starting to crumble. So I went rook a5, a2, attacking this pawn, And now they went rook b1, decent move, makes sense, counterattacking this. Although in this position I found a nice move, bishop f5, which pretty much forces a win for me. The reason is they have to defend the knights either by going here or going here, because otherwise they will just lose the knight, of course. And once they do this, then I can actually just take the knight and then take this pawn, and I have 2 pawns storming up the board and the rook protecting them. So my opponent played g3, I played this, they went there, I went here, they went there, I went here. They went f5 and I went rook b3 and my opponent resigned. Because it's essentially over. Because if they take, I'm just going to promote. If they move away, I'm just going to march these pawns up the board and I'm going to win the game. So good game. It was actually a very good game from both of us. I played with 94.7% accuracy, they played with 84.1%, which is very good for a sub 500 or a sub 1000 for an as well. Like, that's a very good performance, so well done. Let's go to the next game. Right, so in the next game I played the Dog, and yep, let's look at their rating first. They're 1066 in daily. They are 600 blitz, 900 bullet, and about 750 rapid. 1500 puzzles as well. So let's have a look at the game and how it went. So they started by playing d4, I played d5, so now we have a queen's pawn opening instead. They played c4, playing the queen's gambit, and I played the decline variation because that's usually what I play. They went knight 6, very classical, queen's gambit declined. They went bishop g5, which is one of the main moves, and I went bishop e7. They went f3, which is the first mistake. I assume my opponent's kind of idea here was to go f3 and then e4, because that's what makes most sense here. The issue with this is that f3 really weakens the king. Once you play f3 or f4, that's very committal, especially when you have already pushed pawns on the queen side, because your position is going to be very exposed and potentially weak. I went knight bd7 here, which wasn't the best move I was supposed to take, but okay, who cares. They went e4, so I took. I was supposed to take this, but that's decent. They took, and for a naked eye it might look like they have a lot of space and they are actually just much better, although in the future they have some weaknesses going on. As you can see, the king is very exposed here, and yeah, I'm actually very slightly better here according to the chess.com engine. So I played h6, which is a mistake. I didn't play this correctly at all. I was definitely supposed to go e4 here, e5. It was kind of a requirement. They went back because it was a miss because of this. I don't understand why. And now I took the pawn, which is an inaccuracy actually. It might look like a pretty strange move, but the point is when they take my bishop here, because if they take my knight, then I will take there, and yeah, this is very bad actually, because they have to move the king or damage their position even more. But they take the bishop instead, and now I can actually take the knight. And now if they take my queen, I take their queen. If they try to escape, then I try to escape here, and it's just a big trade actually. But here they made a big mistake. They took the knight, and now I can just take the bishop, and now I've actually just won a pawn on this big exchange. And my position is actually better. As you can see, my pawn structure is way more solid. And their king is very exposed and mine is very safe. So here they went knight f3, which is a very good move. I played b6, which isn't the best move. My idea was that I wanted to fianchetto and have some very good scope on this diagonal. But e5 was better. They played bishop e2, and I played c6. Point with playing c6 for me here is that I was kind of scared of d5. It looked like a very strong move to me, so I wanted to prevent it. But c6, nah, it's not that good actually, when I look at it afterwards. They played d5 anyways, which is a mistake, because I should have castled. Although castling just loses a pawn, apparently it was the best move, because like, look at these pawns. They're going to be destroyed. The triple stack pawns, they're disgusting to be honest. But I played c5 because I thought closing up this to making their 2 pawns kind of stuck here and without having any possibility of undoubling was very good for me. They play a4 here, and I play bishop b7. They played a5, and here I castled. I wasn't scared of him taking this pawn, because I can simply just take back with either knight or pawn. They castled, and I went rook fe8, which is a mistake. I was supposed to go rook d8. I have no idea why, but my idea here was of course to take the pawn. Once they take back, I just take this bishop. But they went rook e1, but I still took the pawn, which is a miss apparently because of rook b8. What? I don't understand chess. So they took that pawn, and now I took with knight. They took that, and I went king e3. Here I actually took a while to think, because there's a lot of things going on. But if I try to take this, they can get some nice discoveries on me, and that was kind of scary, to be honest. So I decided to check and then take this pawn, because now my queen isn't pinned anymore and I got a pawn. And this is going to be lost eventually. They offered a queen trade and I gladly took, which was an inaccuracy because I was supposed to go here and pin their knight to the king. But once they take back, I decided to just defend this pawn. They went d6, best move, threatening a fork. So I went rook e6, they went there defending the pawn, and yeah, they went there, I took the pawn, they took this pawn, and I went bishop back to a8, just defending everything. They went rook c1, attacking the pawn, and I went rook d5, which was a mistake. I was supposed to trade the rooks off. He went there, I went here, so I voluntarily just wanted to trade there, and then I pinned it. They went king f2, which is a mistake, and I went knight d6, and here they played a blunder. They played rook a1. Do you know why it's a blunder? Take a look and try and figure it out. Well, it's because this bishop is actually just hanging. Yeah, so I just took the knight. The point here is that if they just take back, then they obviously lose the bishop. So I took, they went there attacking me, so I went bishop e4, discovered check, which is the only move here, I think, that, yeah, it's the only move that wins a piece. There, take, and then I went for the pawns. Excuse me. They went there, attacking this one, so I went c4, they went there, I brought the king in, and the rook, and here they actually resigned, because there's really nothing they can do here. Yeah, my pawn's just going to walk up, and yeah, that's a good game. So in this game, I played with 73.5% accuracy, and my opponent played with 69% accuracy. Nice. So yeah, wasn't as accurate for neither of us as the last game, but yeah, the game turned into a pretty funny position in the start, and when the positions are pretty unusual, it usually isn't that as accurate of gameplay from both parts. So yeah, that's all for this video, I guess. Thank you for watching. If you would like to participate, then add me on machess.com and send me a 3-day game. My name is the same as my YouTube name, Huge0. So well, yeah, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe if you would like to, and peace out.